Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Saida. Good to see you on, Saida. To the rest of the world, hope you are all having a great morning. It is a cold and wintry day. I am up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Good morning, Lady T. We just had the snowfall, so not too happy about that. I hate the snow. Good morning, Janae. Good morning, Karen C. I'm not a fan of shoveling, so that's happening, or not happening in my case. But let's jump right in because we already had a little bit of a. So we had the Fed Chair Powell spoke at 9 o'clock. So we already got a little bit of something going down. Obviously, there's no forecast and actual and all the other stuff, but it's for real. A low key day in terms of Forest Factory. For the economic calendar, though, we do have a lot more going on, which we normally do. 3 stars over here, red star. I'm sorry, red folder over on Forex Factory. But 9 o'clock, 3 stars was Fed Chair Powell speaking. As a matter of fact, I forgot to mention at noon, FOMC member Barr is speaking. That is a yellow folder. And then at 4 o'clock, member Bostic is speaking, and that is a yellow folder. So we only got one red folder today with Forex Factory. We do, as usual, have more information with investing.com. Noon is 2 stars. That's for Barr. The U.S. Baker Hughes is normally giving their report. The oil rig count is at 1 o'clock. And then that's 2 stars. Also, the total rig count with that. Again, Bostic is speaking at 4 o'clock. And then we have a list of things happening, and those are 2 stars. And then we have a list of things happening as of 4:30, which is CFTC, the speculative net positions, those aluminum, copper, corn, crude oil, gold, NASDAQ 100, natural gas, S&P 500, silver, soybeans, and wheat. And those, the majority of the last ones down here are all mostly 1 star. S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100, I would expect those to be 2 stars anyway. Gold is 2 stars over here for that, and as is crude oil. So after the market, we do have some stuff that'll be going down. Obviously, we're here today on Friday, so that may not impact us as much. If you have any tickers that you want looked at, please drop them in. We don't have anything. We didn't have anything reporting for this morning, but yesterday after close was Nike, Lululemon, FedEx, Direct Digital, AAR, Vitru Education, a Census Surgical, Higher Quest, Hyperfine, and Tela Bio. All right, so we got a little bit of everything this past week. Different things have been dropping in, but I would definitely say for sure a lot more of the retail. I think FedEx might be considered industry. I don't know when UPS is reporting, but I would imagine it should be soon. Usually a lot of those will post market open. They usually post in general vicinity. So good morning, Janae. Good morning, Earl. Sizzling. Good morning. Shout out to all y'all for showing up. And yes, it's chilly. It's chilly on the East Coast. It's chilly in the Midwest. And yeah, I'm not down with it. I'm not down with it at all. So anyway, let's take a look. See what the futures were saying. Well, down 0.2% for Dow futures. S&P futures was down 0.04%. NAS futures 0.14%. That was in the pre-market. The stocks are higher following another record-setting day for the major averages. Europe last reported mostly up. All right. They notched a fresh record high as well. DAX is up 0.16%. FTSE 0.54% up. CAC, the only one down, 0.24%. FTSE Milano up 0.09%, and Stock 600 up 0.03%. Asia, ASX 200. Asia was mostly down, even though the Nikkei hit new highs. ASX 200, Australia down 0.15%. Nikkei up 0.18%. That only one that was up. Kospi down 0.23%. HSI down the most, 2.16%. That's Hong Kong. And Shanghai down 0.95%. Hong Kong stocks fall nearly 2%. And this is, well, the VIX is up slightly. If I recall right, I forgot what the number was yesterday, but it's up slightly, 0.62%. This is Russell 2K that's up currently 1.14% at the market open. NASDAQ down slightly, 0.09%. But the S&P and the Dow Jones Industrial Average are kind of in that unchanged, barely moving range. The Dow is up 0.05%, and the S&P 500 is down just a tiny bit, 0.03%. So we're gonna see how all of this is gonna pan out. For our morning, I don't see any tickers in there. So we'll do the rounds that we normally do. Is less going on today, so we can definitely have a shorter call. So what we're looking at right now, because I'm about to get the Mancini numbers, but this is what were the numbers for yesterday. So this red zone that I have here is the block that we created for the what was it, 5230 to 5237 that he was talking about, was kind of like the point of no return, for lack of better phrasing. And so this right here is yesterday's price action. Make sure I blow this up so you can see it. All right. So these brown ones, this was the breakout top to bottom yesterday. It finally did break out at around, what is that, 12:30, and then it started dropping. Did a retest right here, and then it ended down here. So this block again is what Mancini gave us for those numbers yesterday. So that's what we'll be changing on today. And so far, it has opened close to where it closed. So there's not that much of a difference. So we're going to pop in and see what the Mancini numbers are. I'll take this off. So we got, after a 90-point rally from 51.75 support that got to 52.54, next target, SPX is finally putting in some mini dip. 52.39 was support as posted, cracking after 6 tests. The plan today is 52.25, 52.21 through 18 is major. Next down, must then hold and reclaim 52.41 to rally. Hard sell 51.89 below. So there's 52, basically we can say 52.25 to 52.18. So just change this number to 52. Let's go 52.18. Do it that way, 52.25. I'm just gonna put these on here. 52. So that's down there quite a bit. Now, if you notice, this zone right here is where it closed on the 20th. So what was that? 2 days ago? That's where it closed. So this zone that he has right here. Then this, I'm looking on the 15-minute chart, and I'm using Thinkorswim, by the way. So we have this going for us. We're going to move these breakout lines down. It's very, very early in the session, but we want to at least mark. I want to at least mark where it currently is. So we'll do it that way. All right. And it looks like it went through. So we can move this down too. This purple line is just the gap because it gapped up here. So now it's pushed down a little bit. So I just want to acknowledge this gap. This was a buyer's gap, meaning the buyers came in and pushed that up there. And so when this comes back down to retest, there may still be some orders sitting in there. So the bottom number that Mancini had, I'm going to make sure we put those on there as well. So I'm going to put 51.89 at the bottom. And then 52.41. We'll do it that way. Let's go 52.41. 52.41. And 41, 51.89. All right. So again, I'm just putting these levels on the chart so that throughout the day I can watch them and come back and take a look at them and check and see what's going on. It's just a good way to visually see what's happening. Breakout is happening right here. This is one of Mancini's first numbers that was put in, and then we got one at the bottom. So we'll watch this. And we are pretty much on today. Since there's not a lot to report, we got a couple tickers that I see. I see TQQQ, and I'm gonna make sure I check our Telegram. But I just want to come back here and look at 52.41, 51.89. Make sure those numbers are right. 52.41, 51.89. Okay, we're good. All right, and then the breakout is happening right in that upper section, or shall I say, the candle is forming. More accurate way of saying that. Okay, so we got those. For those of you that are in the Telegram group, I am going to post that in the Telegram group right now, so we will have it, and that'll be nice and done. All right, we are going to flip over to TQQQ. Let's look at it on a monthly. Obviously, the market is running up right now, and there's a ton of stocks that are at their highs. So that's something for us to be aware of. And TQQQ, once it loads, is no different in that regard because it is based on the NASDAQ. So this one is not at all-time highs, but this is at recent highs, definitely. It just broke through its last high here. And then this on the monthly, this looks very much like a cheer formation in the seller zone. And so this could very well make its way on up. I mean, really, I don't see what's stopping it from continuing up right now. So it would not surprise me if this thing keeps charging forward. All right. We're going to let me switch to the weekly. There's two ways you can chart this on a monthly, in my opinion. You can go leg in, a small one in the base, and leg out. Or let me widen this. You can put both of these in the base. Leg in, 2 in the base, leg out. It's really up to you. The only thing that changes is the amount of risk. You know, your line will be smaller from here to here. And if you bring it all the way down, they're just adding a lot more risk. So, but definitely include this top of this one in the zone if you're going to do it. Me personally, I think I like 2 in the base, but either or I think it'll be fine. This is the buyer zone right here. In this area, what is this, $35 on the monthly chart? All right. On the weekly, I see you, Lady T, PLTR. I'll put that on next. Good morning, Arlissa. We're going to do, so now right now, TQQQ has in the weekly, it has a buyer zone that has formed. So since it's not at all-time highs, you can look up to see what's the next. You got a couple formations to work with. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way, just to be on the safe side. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to do that. Like this yellow. You're going to see what the levels are on the weekly chart for the next seller zone up. And I'm pretty sure this may have already went through here, but we'll check it anyway. If you use Thinkorswim on your desktop, when you are putting your lines in, you can hit the space bar, and that will duplicate your lines without having to do the right clicking and all other stuff. All right, so here's a very strong zone on the weekly. Leg in, base, leg out right here. Move this up over so you can see it. It's a pretty strong zone right there. I would also include this as a potential zone. This may be seen as a more of a continuation, but because this had this turnaround point here before, it has been resistance, and then right here has been support. So I want to acknowledge that it's there. So I'll just put it in a different color other than yellow. I usually put, if I have a question mark about something, I'll usually put it like in a gray. So just meaning that something is bound to happen right there. And I'll watch it accordingly. But the top of this zone and the top of this, where it hit the high is in the same spot, in the same area. So leg in, base, leg out is what I'm looking at. So even if that's not considered a chair, sellers are obviously pushing down right there. So we have this potential zone up here. Up here is the stronger one. And then we'll check and see what's happening right here. I only charted this one because I can't tell just by looking at this 6203 yet until I scroll over. I couldn't tell if it's already through it or what have you. So this makes sense to go ahead and chart it. And that is the zone it's sitting in. All right. So this is the buyer zone that I was saying earlier. That looked like it was forming on TQQQ. So and this is on the weekly. So step one more down to daily, and I'm gonna take the weekly off. Just now we got our parameters. This was a little bit of a gap down today, this morning so far, and there's a couple things that could be done in this. I don't know why this is not catching like it should. Okay. All right. Man, I'm gonna tell you the formation that I like the most, even though it's further down. It's this one. I actually like this one more than some of the close ones. The closer ones. Those closer ones are not as clear in my opinion. So leg in, base, leg out could be one. And to be honest with you, what I really, really like is this one down here. Let's go down here first. All right. This is what I really like. That's the strongest one. This would be considered a revisit, but obviously there's a gap here. So I'm charting that bottom one first. Okay. And then this is the gap. So you want to make sure count for the gap. We're on the daily chart, by the way. And then we got duplicate. Let's see where we are. Let's see if it's right here. So this would be a leg in, base leg out, regardless. The gap up created the zone anyway. So we still ended up with the same result. I like this as a setup with this down here being a buyer zone or using this, doesn't matter, because this is not a clear zone as far as I'm concerned. It's a little bit choppy here, which we know that that's happening anyway. This is in the seller zone currently, right? So it hasn't, it's mostly through there, but it hasn't fully gone through. But I want to still acknowledge it regardless, because that's where it currently is. So I'll put it up there. And for all we know, it may be about to do a leg out and keep it moving that way. But I would do it this way. It's in this zone. So well, we'll leave it like that. But it gapped down a little bit right here. So between today and yesterday, gap down a little bit. I would be looking at the next zone up, which would be this guy right here. Matter of fact, what I'll do is do it this way. We'll be able to tell them apart. So this is the current zone that it's in. Over to the right. And then this is what we'll be looking at up here. So leg in, base, leg out. And is there another one up here that's close? Yep, here's another one. This is a strong one too. Again, we're on the daily chart now, so we're seeing some of the lines that we put up from the weekly. Right, this is all the way back to January 12th, 22. That's where this base is. So leg in, base, leg out. So this is the second zone that's up. This is the next one that's up, and this is the one that it is currently in this area. So I think it's too early to tell whether it's what it's doing definitively for the day. But we want to make sure we at least acknowledge what's happening. So that's what I have for the zones. Gap, first buyer zone here, second buyer zone here, in a seller zone, and then we got another one right above it. That's some T-triple-Q. And as you can see, this is like basing to the side, it looks like right now. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. All right. Let's see. Let's look at PLTR. That's what I see on the list next. Palantir. And actually, let's take a look at SPX first. Let's see what SPX is over here doing. And we'll jump on Palantir. All right. So far, what we have is this is outside of the 15-minute zone. Now, I will say this. I will still give it some time, because what we know this thing will do is it'll come down here, buyers will push it up. It might, sit around in here and then take off. So I would give it a little bit of time to see if it's going to retest or if it's going to continue to head up through this 15-minute breakout. That's what I would do. It's starting to look like it's starting to try to retest now. So we'll come back and check on that. Right. This is Palantir, or Palantir. I don't know which syllable we're supposed to stress on that one. So what we got is, I'm going to clear this up. This is trying to break through its last highs of 2021. All right. So we have a strong buyer zone right here. This is a serious leg out right there. And you can see right here, it has, based here a few times. So this is a good turnaround point for it. This indecision could either be a continuation or reversal. It just depends. We won't know that till the next candle. But candles with a small body like that, normally that represents indecision. So for this month, that's kind of how it's shaped up. But we do know that it's trying to break past this area right here. So it is at its level. So we'll just have to watch it. So in the seller zone, we know it's at its level, and it is in the seller zone. For the weekly, which is pretty much what's interesting about the weekly, I would say, is you could actually put this in. So I'll take the line off, but I'll just show you what it's looking like. Yeah, it should be yellow actually, but this is actually a buyer's formation. I'm not saying that it's a strong zone, but leg in, base, leg out is a buyer's formation on the weekly. But also, so that's the buyer zone at the bottom. One way to look at this also, because I saw somebody acknowledge it this way and say, this is a zone on top of a zone because leg in, base, leg out. I'm going to take this bottom one off so you could see them so they won't look. So leg in, base, leg out. So this could be considered a zone on top of a zone. Some people, and I know them because they are in my charting group, what they would do is they would chart it so that they're prepared on both sides. So I put this line at the top of here because I was charting this, but over here you can see the top of that line was also the bottom of this next formation up. So we have a next formation up right here, 9/20/21. That's September of 21. So if you chose to look at this as a buyer zone and these as revisits, you can chart it that way. Go here and then buyer zone and then seller zone. But if you, and again, I try to cover all the ways I've seen it charted. You can do it that way, and I see two zones. And so both of these would be in the zones directly connected. Because even though this last candle hasn't formed for the weekly, there's still a formation there. And then down here would be the buyer zone. Leg in, base, leg out is what is potential. Good morning, Tamar. All right, so that's how I see that for the weekly, zone on top of a zone. From that standpoint. For the daily, we have obviously a gap down a little bit so far. And they are in their boxing match. So first thing that catches my eye is this buyer zone down here. 22, what is that? 22.28 to 22.71. So that is a formation. Close to the price, there's this. I'll put this in lines since it's in that zone. There's two ways to do this. I'll show you, well, there's multiple ways, I guess you could say, but I'll just show you the way that I've seen people do it. Some people use this small leg in. This will be the base, and then this will be the leg out. I've seen it done that way. I've also seen it done where they put these three in the base because that's a stronger leg in, three in the base, leg out. So strong leg in and strong leg out. Whatever suits your fancy, but regardless of how you do it, the point is to make sure, as long as we understand that there are buyers in here, that's the main point, is that knowing where these buyers are and where these sellers are. So you can do either one of those. This has not fully formed yet, this last day, so I'm not going to consider that 3 candles yet. For the seller zone, I got leg in, 1 in the base, leg out. That works for me. And then we got to push out there. And then it's doing what it does for Palantir. And they just got some news. I believe they got a contract, government contract in the billions, I think. So, and they're also tied to AI. So, that's it's a lot happening. So like I said earlier, today didn't have any earnings. We didn't have a whole lot of movement in terms of Forex Factory and investing.com, but it is after all of Friday, and it is, if I'm not mistaken, isn't this? I don't necessarily trust. Well, Fridays in general can be a little erratic, to say the least. So I would say just be careful. But this is what I have right now for Palantir. I should have looked to see. And it probably wouldn't be any premiums today. If it's, yeah, I wouldn't see anything today. 146. No, but we could have looked on TQQQ, not investment advice, but something to look at. Yeah, I would say the premiums closing today. I'm looking at like 61. If you did 62.2 minus 0.9, it'll put you at about somewhere in here, 61. Yeah, premium's not that great, but obviously you can go to next week if you so chose. But I wouldn't expect QQQ to be that great when it comes to premiums if there's not a whole lot of volatility happening. So let's look at SPX. And then, again, we have the options 411 6-week live options coaching. You're ready to take the guesswork out of trading and embrace expertise. Guidance for options mastery starts April 1st. You can register at educator2trader.com. That's educator2trader.com. Our Alyssa Pickleton will be coaching you. You'll learn how to open the accounts, navigate platforms, understand the lingo, learn charting, selling strategies, and create your trading plan. For me personally, I think that trading plan is a very, very pivotal, vital part of that package. Probably underrated, in my opinion. You can go to educator2trader.com and find other trainings that are available. Highly encourage you to look at the wheel strategy. I need to be posting my referral link up in here when I'm on these calls, but That will strategy one is really good. Especially for small accounts. Yeah. Definitely worth it. So what's happening now is what I was saying earlier, where this candle came down and it looked like it was going to be coming out and it went back in. And this is an indecision candle. I'm going to take this line off so you can see what happened. The buyers and the sellers, this candle was so thin. The body of this one for that 15-minute segment was so thin that it almost looked like there's not even a body there. And so, yeah, that's crazy, right? This here and this here is literally created this super thin range because it opened at 52.38 and it closed at 52.36. So left us with nothing. But it looks like it's trying to create a buyer zone. Again, no telling what's going to happen, but we'll keep watching it. But that is a strong buyer's formation on the 15-minute chart at the very least. And if you're looking at it in terms of, let's say, standard charting, leg in, base, leg out right here, with a strong leg out and then leg in, base, leg out. So yesterday and then today, which still, again, is zone on top of a zone, but we're still above what Mancini had for his numbers as well. So definitely give it some time. All right. I think we've covered everything. Let's go back to the VIX. The VIX is down a little bit more, 0.46%. It's down 0.46%. Again, a lot of times when the VIX is down, that means that the rest of the market may be going up. It's not guaranteed, but you can look forward to happen and check, is my opinion. Dow Jones currently down 0.15%. S&P 500 is down 0.01%, which is very tiny. NASDAQ is up only a little bit, 0.01%. Russell 2K, 0.22% down. So yeah, the will strategy, I'm a big fan of that. Okay. Our E2T daily declaration. I was looking to see if there were any more. I don't know, but okay. Thank God it's Friday. I don't see any more tickers, so we'll keep it moving. E2T daily declaration. By faith, I am a successful trader. I am a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. E2T daily prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. Okie dokie, everybody. We are going to bid you adieu and say that we will keep our heads on the swivel today. It is Friday. It is a choppy time frame and the zone on top of zones. News can happen in either direction and tear us up. So be careful, stay green, get this money, and we will see you either in Telegram or in the market. Okay. Y'all have a great day of trading, and we will see you next time.